Yo, good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time you are tuning into this broadcast. This is Ishues, Coach Ish, whatever you want to call me. Back again with another video. Let's talk some boxing. All right, so a lot has been circulating around this leaked footage of Devin Haney and Tank Davis, and I've been getting hit up with a lot of questions. I've been getting bombarded with a lot of media. When I go to the gym, it's one of the subjects everybody want to talk about, so I find myself talking about it a lot. So I might as well just leave a video and give my complete thoughts on it. So any of my students or whoever asks me about it, I could just send them the video. Okay, so let me start with the first thing. The first thing is the sparring footage doesn't mean anything. This is a new time and space. This is a new day. This is a new era of not just boxing, but society, where everybody is pretty much selling out. I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people are selling out for clicks and views, for clout, basically. Right? Recognition, clout, attention, whatever. And we're now at a point where people are going against the norm, or people are doing things that, for so long wasn't socially acceptable. People do things now that didn't used to be socially acceptable, but now it's okay because of likes, views, clout. Sparring footage or sparring stories, sparring footage, sparring. Sparring has never been anything besides what it is. Sparring is learning. There really is no winning and losing in sparring, unless with Devin Haney and Tank Davis, they were sparring at the doghouse. I believe there was a bet. You know what I'm saying? Per doghouse rules. Now, according to the story, according to people who were there, Tank actually lost that sparring because outside of a bet being placed, or in the Mayweather gym's case, the doghouse rules, meaning y'all spar until somebody quit. Y'all spar until one person just decides, I don't want to fight no more. Which that used to be how boxing took place. Back in Jack Johnson and Jack Dempsey and them days, people fought until they can't fight no more. And sometimes it'll go 30, 40, 50 rounds. You know what I'm saying? I think I heard of a fight happening one time that was 8 hours long. You know what I'm saying? So you fight until you can't fight no more. So according to Bill Haney and other people who were there, I think Nate Jones said something about it. Tank was the one that actually gave up. So regardless of how that clip looked, according to people who were there, Tank lost because he quit. So let's deal with what we saw. Did we see Devin get dropped? No. Did we see Devin get buzzed? No. What we seen was Tank having a moment. That's what we saw. It was just a moment in sparring. Again, I'm going to go back to it. There's no winning and losing in sparring unless there's a bet. I'm going to knock you out, or I'm going to stop you, or whatever, right? You did better than this guy. Because even sometimes, we spar a lot at my gym. I have a lot of my guys go in there and spar guys who are more experienced, right? And sometimes, when some of the lesser experienced guys go against the more experienced guys, they don't do as well as they might have wanted to do, or they might have got their nose busted, or You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And I tell them, don't hang your head, because number one, sparring is sparring. Sparring is learning. That's what it is. Sparring is learning. It's not competition. It's learning. That's what sparring is. In all martial art disciplines. I've sparred as a boxer. I've sparred in taekwondo. I've sparred in karate. It's learning. That's all it is. It's not a competition. When you want to compete, you go to a tournament. Right? So, so even sometimes with the more expensive, the more experienced guys fight the less experienced guys. And sometimes the lesser experienced guys, they hang their head, they upset because they didn't do well. I always have to remind them, he's more experienced than you. So even if you made it competitive, that's a win. You know what I'm saying? I had a dude, one of my guys, who I'm working with him, and we did a private session. At the end of this private session, some of my other guys came in, and I had him spar. He's only been training for less than a year altogether. Less than a year. Less than 6 months altogether. Less than 6 months. Versus one of my guys who have been training for years. He's 20. He's been training since he was 8. And they got in there, and he was able to make it a little bit competitive. That's a win. That's a win. Right? So there's no such thing as winning and losing in sparring. Really. You know what I'm saying? You had a good day, you had a bad day. You have good days and bad days in sparring. You know what I'm saying? But unless you get knocked out, stopped, or something like that, then that's something different. But even then, it's like, okay, I learned something from getting stopped. I learned something from getting knocked out. You know what I mean? And you take that and you build onto your game and you get better. Everybody's been beat up in sparring. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson's been beat up in sparring. Muhammad Ali has been beat up in sparring. Lennox Lewis has been beat up in sparring. You name it. I don't think there's been a fighter who hasn't been beat up in sparring. Floyd Mayweather was beat up in sparring. There's clips of him getting beat up by Paul Spadafora. Right? This was leading up to the Manny Pacquiao fight. That clip was circulating around a lot of Paul Spadafora getting the best of Floyd Mayweather in sparring. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Paul Spadafora could beat Floyd Mayweather in an actual fight? No. You know? But, you know, it happens. So the only reason that is a big deal now is because the tone of society has changed, and now we accept things that we never accepted before. But, you know, to make this big of a deal about a clip of a sparring where Devin didn't get dropped, he didn't get wobbled, he didn't get knocked out, he didn't get stopped. I'm talking about according to the clip. You know, for the most part, he was, you know, I'm not going to say he was displaying excellent defense, but he was just displaying good defense. He was catching them with his arms. A couple of them was sliding in. But also, we have to keep in mind the elephant in the damn room. The elephant in the room is Devin Haney was 16 and Tank was 20. That means a lot. Okay? That means a lot. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. You know what I'm saying? So Tank Davis, you know what I mean, was a whole 4 years older than Devin Haney. You know what I mean? So that means a lot. You know, as a fighter at 16, you know, your development from 16 to 20 is a lot. Your development from 12 to 16 is a lot. That's the same thing as having somebody in the ring sparring, or let's just say Devin Haney was 12 and Tank was 16. Like even that, that development wise, that's a lot. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So Devin Haney was a kid. Tank was, you know, a young adult. Both of them do a crime. Devin Haney is going to juvenile. Tank is going to prison. They're in totally different brackets. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. But let me get into the most important aspect of this. It's Floyd Mayweather, right? Floyd Mayweather. I don't think I've ever... Floyd Mayweather. I am on record saying, I don't know, at this point now, probably about 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I said, Floyd Mayweather is going to lead to the demise of the sport because he's setting a dangerous precedent. And I'd be damned if I wasn't right. You know, just this whole precedent of business over, business over fights, money over substance, and the overinflated importance on an undefeated record has really caused the demise of the sport, where now it's every once in a while it's a treat where we get the best fighting the best. You know what I'm saying? There's no more eras where the best, fight the best and they win, they lose, they rematch, they fight 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? They go back, they retool, they get better, they come back, they win the rematch. You know what I'm saying? You get those epic trilogies and all that kind of stuff. We don't have that no more. A lot of that came about from Floyd. I'm an appreciator of Floyd Mayweather. Strictly from a boxing standpoint and his approach to his craft. I appreciate what Floyd put into his craft. I appreciate the hard work and the dedication that he put into his craft and how he went out and performed. Even though there's some people he didn't fight. That's a whole nother video that I'm not going to get into. It's a whole nother video. But that's it. Right there is where it stops for me. Because for me, and he's showing it now with the leak, he should know better. He shouldn't have leaked. He shouldn't have gave Garcia that footage. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But that's Floyd. Floyd is a textbook narcissist. He's a textbook narcissist. He don't care nothing about nobody but Floyd. Nobody but Floyd. And I've seen this throughout his whole career. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget he was the dude that in the 24/7, he getting into a fight with his pops, calling his pops a bum, a cab driver, get out my gym, all this other shit. This is his dad. This is the person that's responsible for him even boxing at all. So regardless of what grievance that you have to be a narcissist to be going at your pops like that when you are literally Floyd Mayweather Jr. You got your pop's whole name. You know what I'm saying? He was the one who put the gloves in your hand, on your hands, and took you to the gym and introduced you to this game that you've made a fortune out of. I don't care what y'all going through. I remember when I first watched that, I was so disgusted. Like, this is corny. Whatever problems, I've seen Roy Jones have problems with his pops. Sugar Shane had problems with his pops. Zab Judah for a little while had little problems with his pops. I ain't never seen none of them get on camera and air that out. He's actually the first, fighter who was trained in some capacity by his father that actually went at his pops in a public display, a shameful public display. That shit was shameful, but that's what a narcissist does. Let's not forget, let's not forget the relationship between him and 50. Know what I mean? I listened to, well, Floyd hasn't really told his side of it, but I've heard 50 tell his side of it, and I see it. Because here's the thing. Around the time Floyd started messing with 50, he started to blow up. Why? Because he started promoting himself like a rapper. I still to this day, you know what I mean? And 50 has already said it, and I believe him. He had a lot to do with how Floyd was moving and marketing himself. And then at the end of the day, he didn't want to give 50 no credit. You know what I'm saying? Narcissist. This is small evidence, but you remember the clip when Anthony Joshua was on top of the world. He was the guy. Floyd, was standing next to Anthony Joshua, and girls was walking past Floyd and taking pictures with Anthony Joshua. Look at Floyd. Look how upset he was. You know what I'm saying? And the main one that most people forgot, you remember when his friend called him on FaceTime and shot himself and killed himself. That was national news. That was mainstream news. That's well known. Floyd's one of his best friends called him on FaceTime. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Self-deleted. Now, 50 tells the story that the reason why that happened is because the dude was a producer for Floyd when Floyd had his label, and he went out of town or something, and Floyd smashed his wife. Girlfriend, I think it was his wife though, who was a dancer at the time. And Floyd smashed his wife. So it would make sense. If I went out of town and I found my ultra, I ain't gonna say me, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that at all. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm gonna keep it moving. But I could understand that though. That makes sense. When the story first came out, it was like Floyd's friend called him on FaceTime and then deleted himself on the phone while Floyd was on the phone. Deleted himself. You know what I'm saying? What can cause someone to do something that extreme? And then when 50 said, yo, he slept with the dude's wife. Okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, let's also not forget, Floyd Mayweather went to jail for beating the shit out of his baby mom in front of his kids. These are all textbook narcissistic behavior. And then he retires, and I've never seen this in the history of the sport. I've never seen a fighter retire and still fight so hard to be in the limelight. You got fighters, he had a whole banner, he had a whole roster full of fighters under the TMT banner, which none of them has done anything. And remember, Luis Arias used to be part of Floyd's banner. He left. Why did he leave? Well, he said it. He said because Floyd was pretty much blocking his... Everybody that's been under Floyd say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like being a rapper on a record label owned by another rapper. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna always make himself the priority. And even when Floyd retired, he's supposed to be mentoring Tank Davis. Every time Tank Davis have a big fight, Floyd find a way to take some attention away from Tank to put on him. I've never seen a professional fighter retire and always talk about them and he's still to this day. Like Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya. These dudes rarely talk about what they accomplished in the sport. They rarely talk about it. They had their run, it's over with, they moving on to other things. Or they talking about other fighters. Andre Ward and dudes like, You won't never hear these dudes talking about, I beat more, I accomplished more in the sport than anybody. Constantly trying to put down fighters from the past. He lost me when he disrespected Muhammad Ali. He was basically saying Muhammad Ali, he's better than Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali wasn't that good. It don't take nothing to lay on the ropes. And like, what? I don't even have time to get into all that. How disrespectful that is. You gonna disrespect the rope-a-dope? Without putting it in this entire context? Nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? So Floyd has always tried to undercut young fighters, take away from the shine from young fighters. Anytime there's a young fighter that has some sort of upward momentum and he's in a position to do something about it, he does every time. Every single time. He used to go to Tank's press conferences, get on the podium and talk about him. He start talking about Tank, then he'd be like, you know, just like I told Tank when I was fighting. Like, no one wants to hear about you and what you did when you was fighting. He's still to this day saying, like, I'm really the face of boxing. Yeah, because he's keeping himself in that mix. That's all narcissistic behavior. So for him to be responsible, allegedly, of leaking that footage is corny. But it's par for the course as far as Floyd Mayweather. He's an agent of chaos for the sport of boxing. As much as he talked all that crap about wanting to clean up the sport and he is an agent of chaos for the sport of boxing. And I don't care nothing about people try to fire back, say, oh, well, he's the one that responsible for fighters getting money. Fighters been getting money. Mike Tyson was getting money. Evander Holyfield was getting money. I take it all the way back to Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson was getting money. Sugar Ray Robinson at one point owned a whole block in Times Square in Manhattan. He owned a whole block. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Robinson was getting money. Maybe not Floyd money, but he was getting money. Jack Johnson was getting money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes got jerked out of their money and stuff like that towards the end of their career and towards the end of their life, but, you know, look at what Floyd's doing. Look at the shenanigans that Floyd is pulling. You know what I'm saying? He should be helping to elevate these fighters. But he always somewhere in the mix, throwing some shade, you know, working with Al Heyman to block fights and you know, making it a point to have exhibition fights you know, around the same time. Like, it was a couple fights Gervonta Davis had, and he had an exhibition fight right around the same time. You taking away promotion from your fighter. Why are you doing that? So ultimately, to me, Floyd is a clown. To me, he's a clown. I don't rock with the bull. I respect his game. I respect what he accomplished in the ring. I don't respect how he accomplished it, most of it. I mean, your 51st fight was Conor McGregor. That by itself warrants disrespect. It should have been Keith Thurman. If we keeping it a buck, it should have been Keith Thurman, but it was Conor McGregor. So ultimately, I think Floyd, you know, is a lot to blame for this footage thing, and I just think he's a cancer for the sport. Honestly, I would love to see him just go away and shut the fuck up and just go somewhere, man. Just go enjoy your kids and your grandkids and go spend money. Go the fuck away, man. Just go. Just go. Just stop it, because you're not adding to nothing. You're not adding to nothing. Just go the fuck away and sit the fuck down, enjoy your retirement, shut the fuck up. That's how I feel. But, you know, it's whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let's talk about it. That's all I got on it right now. Peace.